on New York City. Let's go ahead to our other source, and I'll show you that Doppler radar if we can do that, and you can see what we have. Here again, the Doppler radar out of Long Island. Big U.S. Open right now in Flushing, New York. You can bet they're keeping an eye on this line, and actually in about 30 to 40 minutes it should be pushing right into Flushing. So you've got about 30 to 40 minutes to react at the most as these storms continue to push to the east. Warnings out for Bergen, also Passaic, Morris County, Hunterdon County, Somerset County, as these storms continue to race east across New Jersey. And you will notice several of the storms are quite strong, and that's indicated by the pink here as they continue to push on off to the east, especially this cell here in western Somerset County. Keep an eye on that as that continues to move to the east. Also, people on the beaches need to keep an eye out because these storms could easily affect them within the next 40 minutes or so. For storms to also develop back in the high instability area, which may occur later on this afternoon. So Pittsburgh, Charleston, back down to Lexington, you're not quite out of the woods yet, but right now the big show is obviously with the squall line as it continues to push through New Jersey and also up into southern Connecticut. So right now most of these storms have not gone severe, but they could in a big hurry as everything continues to race on off toward the east. So you'll notice what's happening to our line again too, especially on some of these later pictures. It went from being more of a linear line or vertically line. Now it's got a little bit more of a bend to it. So perhaps another stronger core of winds is beginning to punch on in, and that could mean some big problems for Middlesex County, eventually Monmouth County, Union County, so Newark. Keep an eye out on eventually downtown New York as all this continues to race on off to the east at 40 to 50 miles per hour. The wider view, even keeping an eye on the rain in upstate, if you're traveling the Northway this afternoon, from Poughkeepsie up to Albany, it is just a steady rain, and even up into New England as well. More rainfall into Vermont, and also basically from Seaside, New Jersey, all the way down to Cape May, you have a beautiful afternoon. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's a lot of sunshine here, and the line off to the northwest is almost unbeknownst. But as those high clouds filter in, it will not be long after that the actual squall line itself pushes on through. So hang in there. Big improvements coming.
Field and brush mower. Call toll-free 1-800-326-4422 for your big color catalog all about the amazing DR Field and Brush Mower. Lowest prices of the year are now in effect. So call 1-800-326-4422 for free DR details.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
And a very busy afternoon as we watched a line of intense thunderstorms move all the way across Pennsylvania. With it, a lot of reports of tree limbs down and also power outages on this Labor Day. And now, as we take you to the Doppler radar out of New York City, you can see that thunderstorms are moving east. We currently have a tornado warning out for Essex and Union counties in northeastern New Jersey. And of course, we're talking about these two counties right in here. And you can see why they had the warning out. Some very, very highly reflective cores coming in the Doppler, and that darkest pink that you see obviously indicating that we have some pretty intense thunderstorms. Also, Richmond County in New York, Staten Island, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning as well, as all this continues to race on off toward the east. Now, we've received a few phone calls this afternoon reporting winds gusting 40 to 50 miles an hour, so perhaps not as intense as what we saw earlier for the whole line. However, what has happened is individual cells now have formed and taken over. So you could have much more, a much stronger wind than 40 to 50 miles an hour, especially through Essex and Union counties. So Newark, Queens, of course, we have the U.S. Open going on right now, and they are minutes away, really several minutes away from dealing with this very, very intense line of thunderstorms, even though right now it looks like the worst may pass just to your south. So some big problems right now in the tri-state area, compliments of this line of thunderstorms moving on through. It's been a very, very active day so far. Let me show you the damage. And this is just with the first squall line that moved through this morning. And in Syracuse, had some big problems as a result of this squall line that moved through before the sunrise. 2 people lost their lives here. And unfortunately, you saw 80-mile-per-hour winds that produced a tremendous amount of damage. Close to 80,000 residents are without power. And officials say that the repairs here could take up to a week because of the widespread outages. I mean, look at this damage. I mean, this is something you'd see with a very, very strong wind gust, no doubt about it. All right, let me go ahead and show you what's happening right now again as we show you the overall northeast. Here's an area of rain south of the Mass Pike, across New York State, and across New Jersey. Of course, this is the most potent part of the line right now. And that's not taking away any of these thunderstorms that are moving toward Providence and Newport, Rhode Island, or the storms that are moving through Philly as we speak. But certainly the most important part of the line right now where we have the damage going on is where this line kind of waves a little bit. We call this a line echo wave, and that's where you can get some of the stronger winds and the damage. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now around the tri-state area as we showed you on the Doppler radar. Now, the watch extends all the way across Long Island, including Long Island Sound, all the way across the south coast of New England, out through the Cape and the islands. And boaters, please be aware. Even though you're sitting out there on the water, I hope you're taking heed to any of the warnings that are out there, because these storms are producing 40 to 60 miles an hour with wind gusts, and that could easily capsize a boat, very, very easily. So mariners, this is your area to watch as well. The cold front pushing to the southeast, bringing in a sure shot of fall off to the northwest. Bill Keneally was telling me that Caldwell, New Jersey, went from 88 degrees to about 66 degrees in 13 minutes. So an incredible drop in temperature as the line moves on through. And even though right now the big show is here, it is not uncommon, given the instability on the tail end of this cold front, to see storms develop and also go severe back here. But right now, all indications are really watching this show, because that is the big show as all this continues to push to the east. Behind the squall line, the leading edge of it, we do have a pretty decent area of rain. So if you're traveling up the Northway this afternoon, if you're traveling the Mass Pike back to Albany, you're going to get wet. The Pennsylvania Turnpike also very wet as you make your way on off to the east. Again, right now, most of our thunderstorms are north of Philadelphia, but you will notice on a couple of these later pictures that the bottom edge of this squall line is starting to develop over the Chesapeake Bay and is moving into western Maryland. So Dover, keep an eye out as these storms, at least to the northern end of them, have had a history of hail and wind damage. And certainly the instability that exists down here could also prove to be an important factor for you as these storms that continue to push on through. So some big problems this afternoon, especially in the tri-state area. Current tornado warnings out for Essex and also Union counties. So our risk goes through midnight tonight for these thunderstorms, even though in 45 minutes the line will be through downtown New York. That's how quick it's moving. And these clouds obviously making their way quickly through New England and also Pennsylvania, New York. But behind the cold front, just a lot of cold air cumulus clouds and a sign of fall as this cool air mass continues to make its way southeast for Tuesday, the day after Labor Day. So a warm, humid air mass leading to some convection tonight. Probably some damage on tap, too, for the tri-state area as we continue to watch these storms push to the south. For more weather information on your PC, click in and join us at weather.com. Right now, Lisa Mo